It's auction time at the Indian T20 League, and we are back here at Timeout with SportsAdda to discuss lots and lots about the auction. It's the mega auction, Arun. Teams are all lining up, their analysts are all getting together, management is getting together, combinations are being made now. So, very, very interesting couple of weeks for Indian cricket.
Very, very interesting. It's that time of the year, Akhil, when the calculators, the spreadsheets, the analysts, all the diaries, all the notes come out. Uh, no matter what happens over the next couple of weeks, Akhil, you can do as many dry runs, as many simulations as you want, but the dynamics on the auction day, I should say, will take everybody by surprise. Not one person can predict 100%, not one person can say with certainty that this is the way the auction will unfold. Uh, they will be, I mean, it's fascinating. It will be fascinating.
We are going to ask people to go and nominate or tell us which are the kind of picks, which are the kind of players that each of these teams should pick. And in case their pick matches with what the actual pick of the team is, then they will stand to win SportsAdda merchandise. We'll start with the defending champions today then. Your favorite team, your favorite captain, seen a lot of success in the Indian T20 League. Chennai. What do you think about Chennai?
Okay, let's make some headlines first up, Akhil. Since you brought up Chennai, uh, here's my take. I think Chennai are also on the lookout for a captain. A lot of experts have not spoken about Chennai looking for a captain. They've only identified Bangalore possibly and Punjab as on the lookout for captain. But I think Chennai are also on the lookout for captain. Remember, MS Dhoni is 40 years old now. Doesn't play a lot of cricket, Akhil. It's not going to be easy. There could be a chase. There could be the chance that MS Dhoni might not play all 14 games or more. Therefore, they will look for a captain in the auction. They will look for one guy who is captaincy material.
So I think that indication will be a Ravindra Jadeja for me, Arun. Jadeja has, if you've seen the kind of the picks that they've made this time in the pre-auction selection, Jadeja was their number one player. So the highest money that has gone to a player from Chennai is Ravindra Jadeja. So you're absolutely right. I agree that it might not be a MS Dhoni leading Chennai in all the games, but it might be a Ravindra Jadeja who might take up the captaincy. Dhoni might still groom him from behind the stumps, help him being a mentor plus player on the field. So you're right. That will be a massive one. It will be a huge change for all of us Chennai fans.
In fact, Akhil, I'm looking at slightly differently. I think Jadeja will be one of the keys going forward for the next 3-4 years. But I think despite the presence of Jadeja, they will look for another captain. I don't think Jadeja will be made captain. Jadeja will be a core member of the team, but I think they will look for somebody like let's say a Ravichandran Ashwin. Let me just see who the players likely are. There could be a Ravichandran Ashwin for all you know. There could be a Steve Smith. I see Steve Smith possibly being captain material, and therefore he could make the Chennai lineup. Ajinkya Rahane, not a lot of people speak about Rahane, but he's only 33 years old, Akhil. He's not 37, 38. Dinesh Karthik's 35, so maybe not Dinesh Karthik, but Ajinkya Rahane is 33. He fits into that Chennai culture very nicely. So my gut feel is Chennai are also going to sign up a captain in the auction.
Interesting one that you brought out, the captaincy one. Okay, should we just have a look at the players? Let's talk about the players that they've retained. And again, a very, very strong four set of players. Arun, Moeen Ali, I thought was a fantastic retention. What do you make of these retentions?
No two ways about Moeen Ali being retained, Akhil. If there's one captain in the world who's got the best out of Moeen Ali, who's made Moeen Ali the cricketer, it has to be MS Dhoni. And therefore, I mean, I've mentioned this time and again on our show, on our podcast. And I think there was no surprise that Moeen Ali was retained. Uh, Ruturaj Gaikwad again, a player who's grown in the last couple of years. He didn't have the greatest start, but when he's performed, Chennai have generally gone on to win, except for the one half century, maybe, or the 1 century. But these are fabulous retentions. No surprises with the first two names, Akhil, Jadeja and MS Dhoni. Like I mentioned, there was no way around them. But Moeen Ali and Gaikwad, fabulous picks.
Do you think they'll still go and target some of their players who've been with them for so long, like a Suresh Raina? Two important names that I want to take your thoughts on, and primarily because both of them have been in stellar form for India whenever they're playing. Turned out to they're almost all-rounders now. So Shardul Thakur and Deepak Chahar. They've been bowling the opening overs for Chennai for the last couple of seasons, have seen success against some of the top batters like Prithvi Shaw, if you remember, a head-to-head record against them. So do you see them going back for players like a Shardul and a Deepak Chahar?
Absolutely, yes. I thought for a second you might actually bring up Dwayne Bravo's name, but good you brought out Shardul Thakur and Deepak Chahar name. Here's my take, Akhil. Like I mentioned with Moeen Ali, I think these players were made by the atmosphere in the dressing room, in that Chennai dressing room, and by the man behind the stump and the captain, MS Dhoni. You will not see the same kind of success for these players elsewhere. They will still perform, they will still pick up wickets, they will still score runs, but the degree of success might not be the same elsewhere. So I think Chennai will still go back for them. Will go back for a Deepak Chahar and a Shardul Thakur, but there will be many other teams as well. There will be many teams. This commodity, Akhil, fast bowling all-rounder or a pace bowling all-rounder isn't short supply, right?
Yeah.
So teams will battle for these assets, and I think these two are prominent among them.
What about Suresh Raina? Suresh Raina is an interesting one because he's been Mr. IPL, probably the most consistent batter who's played the Indian T20 League since the beginning. Has scored some important, vital innings for Chennai whenever they needed previously. Also, Robin Uthappa, last time, whenever they needed runs, he's just come in and scored those runs quickly, given them a real impetus. Faf du Plessis, opener who scored for them continuously over the last few seasons. So, just give me your thoughts about Robin Uthappa, Faf du Plessis and Suresh Raina. Do you think Chennai will and should go for them?
Maybe one of those three, Akhil. Age is not on their side, and that's the problem with those three. Suresh Raina was also benched last season, wasn't he? So as much as he's a Chennai boy, he's got that connect with Chennai. People love him in at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium. He's also Chinnathala, which is junior leader, junior captain. But I think he's not going back to Chennai. My gut feel is he's not going back to Chennai. But yeah, from those three, maybe Faf for one season, but otherwise no.
Somebody that you admire, Washington Sundar, again a local Tamil Nadu boy, always played for Tamil Nadu there. He's been coming through the system. Now he's become a regular in the Indian cricket white ball setup. We've seen what he's done in Australia. I think he'll be a very, very smart pick. Washington Sundar opening the bowling with Dhoni keeping the wickets. I think it'll be a very smart combination, like how Ashwin and Dhoni used to be.
It all depends on what happens with Ashwin. It all depends on the timing that Ashwin comes into the auction. The reason I say that is if Chennai managed to sign Ashwin, Washington Sundar's then off the list. That's my perception. Ashwin also gives you the captaincy material, Akhil. He's one of the shrewdest cricket brains going around, not just in India but in the world. So Ashwin's a potential Chennai captain for me. And if they end up landing on Ashwin, not Washington Sundar anymore.
There is one more point that I wanted to bring up, and just if we have those stats handy, there were a couple of interesting picks Chennai made last year during the auction. They spent a lot of money on a couple of players, which is very rare for them, right? We haven't really heard that Chennai have broken the bank in the last few years and gone berserk after a player. But these kind of numbers, Arun, especially the one for Krishnappa Gautam, where you see a spend of 8.25 crores. Do you see somebody like a Chennai going after one particular player like that? It's very rare that they spend on a player and don't get to play him. Krishnappa Gautam hardly got any games last year. So, do you think with the way that Chennai have been spending in the auction, they might just go maybe over 10 CR for one particular player?
Maybe for the captain, but not otherwise. Maybe for this reserve captain, but not otherwise. I don't see them breaking the bank, uh, chasing one particular cricketer. I think what this auction is also about is the number of players available. So I think teams will wait, bide their time, and then throw in the bids. They'll be a lot more smarter this time.
Okay. I'm the one I'm looking forward to is Washington Sundar going to Chennai. That is my wish list. If you can give us your three players that you would say Chennai would go after, we'd like to see that and record it and then have a look at it when we actually finish the auction.
Like I mentioned, this is we shooting in the wild. We don't know what the
Yeah.
teams are discussing, but here's my three picks. I'm looking at a Ravichandran Ashwin or a
Okay.
Steve Smith, right? Ravichandran
Okay.
Ashwin / Steve Smith,
Hmm.
and then bottom later on, I'm probably looking at somebody like a Sai Kishore or a Jagadish.
Okay, okay, good, interesting picks there. Very, very interesting picks Arun has made. All right, so this is something that these are our thoughts actually for the Chennai team and how their plans for the auction are going to be. Write into us with your comments with people you think should be in the Chennai team or why they should be in the Chennai team. Uh, Answer in the comment section on our YouTube channel. If your choice is what Chennai goes with, then obviously you stand to win Timeout with SportsAdda merchandise, and that's going to be interesting. I'm sure everybody has an opinion, so will be fun to read comments and listen into what our viewers think. All right, so this is Chennai Arun, defending champions, hoping to see that they have a good auction. We'll be back here. We'll profile the other teams, talk about the possible picks in each of the other teams, and continue with that discussion on the rest of the episodes.